Alright folks, Radio Archive here. We are live on a motorcycle chase, trying to figure out where this is going on at. Just got into the chase here. Give me a second to pull up the time here. Looks like we're in San Fernando Valley here. Speed's hitting 145 miles per hour here. What we're looking at.
The kid.
And this started about 10 minutes ago, 11:10 p.m. in California, so about 10 minutes ago.
Night sun, as powerful as that is, and we talked about what a distraction it is for a driver in a regular vehicle, if it isn't even more distracting for somebody at that speed on a motorcycle, posing an even greater danger, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, you know, I think maybe it's helping the rider a little bit to see what's
this
coming
is
live
because
the freeway
in the
can be dark at times in places, so if there's any debris or anything like that, but really at these speeds he's going to have a split second at that to make a move as he approaches here the 110 freeway southbound 5.
You know, our desk is very busy upstairs, Jamie and Jack, and they did a quick web search. And it says the top speed on an average motorcycle is anywhere from 110 to 120. So as you can see, he is really pushing this bike.
It really is. And I mean, right now he's at we're clocking at a 120. Let's see what he does here now. He's at the 110. So it could be a little tricky here as far as the freeway goes, but he looks like he's staying committed there on that 5 freeway southbound.
At any point during the pursuit, as you've been watching it, has he slowed down at all, or is it just pretty much consistent over 100 miles an hour?
You know, believe it or not, on surface streets at Van Nuys, when he got off the freeway and lost the CHP for a few minutes, the LAPD airship was saying that he was going about 90 to 100 miles an hour on surface streets at times. So really, he hasn't slowed down that much, except when, of course, when he got on the freeway on the 405, he was going about 80, 90 miles an hour when we first got eyes on him.
Okay, as we can see, he's continuing southbound on the 5 here. Joe, what does the traffic look like up ahead? And is the black and white still behind him at all?
Yeah, it's getting heavy. There's the black and white there. The CHP still in trail. They're still keeping up. That's fantastic to see that car travel at that rate of speed as well. But I'll tell you, he's coming up on the 10 freeway, and then beyond that, it's going to be the 60, the East LA interchange. So you'll have plenty of options here coming up. But if I remember correctly, the 60 freeway has been having some construction on it, and there are warning signs that indicate that at this hour. So we'll see what kind of dilemma that poses this driver.
You know, once again, for anyone who's just joining us, can you refresh our memory here on how this started?
Yeah, you know, we first learned about it on the 101 freeway eastbound from the Calabasas area. Made its way quickly to the 405 northbound and then exited on surface streets. We're going to lose him here for a second under the bridges. But exited in the Van Nuys area, and then CHP lost it for a while. He was on surface streets, but the LAPD airship was in the area and picked up the motorcyclist, and that's when he jumped back onto the 405 northbound, all the way up to the 118 freeway eastbound, and then southbound to the 5 freeway, I should say southbound 5 freeway. Now he's continuing here. Let's see, he's going through the East LA Interchange right now, and I believe he's still southbound 5 through the East LA Interchange now.
Are you surprised at all he hasn't gotten off and tried to lose these guys on surface streets? I mean, clearly he hasn't been able to outrun the CHP behind him.
You know, he tried that. He tried that in Van Nuys. He took the 405 north from the 101 and then exited Balboa, and that's how he lost the CHP. But fortunately, the LAPD helicopter had eyes on it, and now that the helicopter's overhead, it's going to be really difficult for this driver to lose the helicopter. As you can tell, we're at our max speed trying to stay up with this driver, but he's having difficulty shaking us.
A couple of moments ago, he did throttle back to about 78 miles an hour. That's the slowest we've seen so far.
Yeah, good eye. He was going through those transition roads there on the 5, and now I'm just trying to keep up where we're at. We're approaching the 710 freeway, coming by the Commerce Train Yard right now, southbound 5. So, you know, the destination for this driver is unknown. It's hard to say if he's just using the freeway system to try to shake the police, or if he actually has a destination. But right now, it doesn't seem like it.
And we want to remind people, as you said, Gil, this was a failure to yield. Speeding was involved. They believed there was some sort of racing. I mean, that's what they're telling us. There were at least 2 bikes involved here. The other one, we're not sure about that one, but the CHP really did focus on this one.
Yeah, I didn't hear about the second one. That may have been really early on in the pursuit, but certainly they had their eyes targeting this guy.
Well, traffic does appear to be much lighter here now that he's on the 710, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually he's on the 5 still.
Oh, he's still on the 5, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where we're at here, looking out the window so I don't lose him. We passed the 710 freeway, so he's passing the Citadel outlets right now, and look at that, just going in and out of traffic. Those cars have no clue what's coming up behind them.
You know, I'm going to ask you another motorcycle-type question. When the back fender is that far raised off the rear, does that mean it's an off-roading kind of bike, too, that does all-terrain?
That's my understanding. You know, you see that raised, but it also could indicate that it's a high-performance motorcycle as well.
Well, we're definitely seeing that here tonight.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, this guy really knows how to ride a motorcycle, that's for sure. And at these speeds, he's got to know what he's doing because it's so dangerous.
And he'll be heading into Orange County in no time. Of course, he has the option then of going down to 605 as well.
Yeah, that's next. So it's 605 in a couple of miles here, and we'll see what the driver does if he tries to get off and try to ditch officers here coming up in like the Downey or Pico Rivera area.
Hey, Gil, was that a laser we just saw popping up?
Yeah, I was going to ask you the same thing. It sure looked like it.
You know, that might have been. It might have been someone pointing a laser at us. We get that quite often here, and it's so dangerous to do that to helicopters or aircraft. But, yeah, at this point, look at the speeds here, 136. It's really incredible. The speeds and traffic, very light going southbound on the 5.
And it's a pretty good guess this guy's been going fast enough that they haven't been able to get a plate on him at all.
I don't believe they got a plate yet. I was trying to listen to that early on, and I don't think they did. I think he was just too fast for the officers that tried to pull him over.
What kind of options would the CHP have? I mean, would you use you use spike strip at this speed, but what options do they have?
They don't. I mean, they're really just going to have to track this motorcycle until he runs out of gas. That's about all they can do. And normally, if there was like traffic, they might have a problem with that because the motorcycle can split lanes. but really the helicopter is going to be over this until he runs out of gas, because they're going to hand off to other aircraft that will help. The CHP airships, the LAPD, the Sheriff's Department will all assist in pursuits. Even going down into Orange County, the police down there will use their helicopters to assist whatever way they can.
Once again, he's traveling on the 5 and heading south. Can you give us the next major location coming up here? What city are we passing through?
Yeah, we're going through Downey right now, and we're right at the 605 freeway. Let me come out wider, and he'll have an option here to jump on that 605 freeway, but we'll see what happens if that happens or not. He's staying in that middle lane, so it's telling me, no, that's actually the door point right there, and he's going to be committed southbound 5 freeway from the 605.
You wonder if fatigue won't play a part in this. Driving this fast for
about
this
100
long,
miles per hour is the
it's
speed
got to be
limit.
strenuous.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm not one that rides motorcycles, and there's the CHP handing off to the next division, but I would have to say it's going to take a toll on you after a while, at these speeds especially.
How long has this been going on, Bill? I know we picked it up shortly after, I think, 11:05.
Yeah, that's about the time it started. That's about the time I heard it. We were in downtown LA and started flying towards the San Fernando Valley. Been going on since about that time.
And he just stays pretty consistent at that 130, 145 mile speed there, as he just changes lanes ever so often, weaving in and out of traffic, showing no signs of slowing down or giving up.
Yeah, for sure. You know, he really doesn't have anything to lose at this point. I mean, just staying with the throttle on at high speed and just making sure that he's able to navigate the cars ahead of him. But really, this area, this stretch of the 5 freeway between the 605 and the 91, a lot of construction as well, but it looks like it's open. Sometimes they close the southbound lanes for construction, but it looks like it's clear sailing all the way to the 91.
Once again, he's certainly got a lot of range on a motorcycle here, depending on the conditions and the speed, but he's at least got 200 miles on a tank of gas there.
Wow. Yeah, he can go for quite a while here. I'm hearing the CHP units trying to get a license plate on the vehicle to answer that question. They're still trying to access those plates, but you'll see the distance as I zoom out. That officer there that just took over, I believe that's Santa Fe Springs unit that just took over in trail of the pursuit. But you see the distance there, it's probably pretty hard to read that plate.
And imagine what that's like for those officers in trail as well. They usually don't drive this fast, this long on the freeway.
They don't, and it's certainly different for a car to try to keep up in traffic. Even though it's very light, they have those vehicles that they have to dodge. The motorcycle can easily split lanes and come up right alongside cars like you just did and just blow right by them. So they have a challenge for sure to avoid that traffic that the motorcycles just passed.
Well, you know, we look at the motorcycle, we know it's going fast, but you really can tell when you see the CHP officer behind him and how he's passing all the other cars on the freeway, almost like they're standing still.
Yeah, you see how he had to swerve there. Yeah. He speeds 100 miles an hour. The motorcycle looks like he's slowing down a little bit here, but approaching the 91 here in about a mile and a half. And then the motorcycle just simply hits the throttle, and away he goes.
So he was kind of staying in the HOV lane. Well, I guess he's not in it right now, but how far before he has to make a decision?
He's got about a mile now at that 91, so he can go eastbound 91 or continue southbound 5. If he does southbound 5, that'll put us going into Anaheim and through Disneyland area. So that's the options the driver has. There are some off-ramps that are closed down here, so because of the traffic or because of the construction that's going on. So he'll have limited options as far as getting off. Here's Beach Boulevard, and he's going to continue at looks like about 140 miles an hour. He's really ramped it up now.
Yeah.
Bill, if they were to get, let's say they got close enough to get a look at the plate and the number here, would they pull off and track him knowing he's on the bike at this point?
They might. I mean, if there's any wants or warrants for the individual actually, they may stay on it. If there isn't, they may just let it go. They'll know where he lives. They know that they can catch up with him later. It might just be not worth it to the general public and the officers that are in trail to continue. So now we're going to go southbound 5. He's committed. I believe it is southbound 5. Stand by here 1 second. I'll come wide. Yes, it's southbound 5 freeway. So we're going to have to climb to get through the Disney temporary flight restriction and passing Magnolia right now.
And Gil, while you're doing that, we want to let our viewers know that in about 30 seconds or so, we're going to go to the Tonight Show. You won't miss a thing on that. If you want to continue to see what happens here with this pursuit of this motorcyclist that speeds up to 145, nearly 150 miles an hour, we'll have that on our website, nbcla.com. Okay, Gil, back with you.
Yeah, Chuck, we are southbound 5 freeway, 135 miles an hour, coming through Anaheim, passing Brookhurst, and I'm listening for any updates from the California Highway Patrol as far as what they're going to do or if there's any plans.
Wow, that's the closest we've seen.
Real close, huh?
Yeah.
Colleen.
Sorry, Colleen, I had a radio mayor.
Oh, look how close he is. He looks like he's pulling over.
He's slowing down. This might be it. He might be out of gas. This is going to be, it looks like maybe Euclid. I'm trying to get a locator here, but I think he's done. I think he's out of gas. He's just went as fast as he could for as long as he could, and this is going to be it. It looks like, I believe this might be Lincoln. Yeah, this is a 5 freeway at Lincoln. I'm going to come in, and they're going to make their arrest. Right there, the motorcyclist just kind of ignoring the officers. He's going to put this kickstand up, and he's going to walk back to the officers. So a pursuit that started in near Calabasas on the 101 eastbound has ended here in Anaheim. 5 freeway southbound at Lincoln Avenue, and he just simply ran out of fuel and surrendered.
You know what's odd about that? It's almost as if he had done this before. At least he's seen it on television many times. Because he knew exactly what to do. Back up, get down on the ground.
You know, I have a quick question for you, Chuck, and Gil. I'm not sure if we can answer this. When someone is going that far above the speed limit, obviously the vehicle was impounded here. Will they ever get it back, or is that something that then becomes property of, I don't know, the government, the city, whoever impounds it?
Well, that's a really good question.
I mean, do you lose the pink slip on it?
I think you might. I mean, as these speeds are so dangerous, I mean, I think there might be additional charges, and he may actually indeed lose that vehicle. So it's hard to say, but he acted like he was going to protect it by putting the kickstand. He didn't want to lay it down, so maybe there's a chance he can get it back.
Thanks again, Gil Davis in News Chopper 4 Bravo. We'll conclude our coverage right now. And we didn't have to wait around too long to see the end of this one. Thanks, Gil, and Colleen.
Thanks, Chuck and Colleen.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Alright, sorry about the technical issues there. We are back with Sky Fox LA here. We're going to get some further details on this one. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Looks like that motorcycle was wanted for racing and speeding in Southern California on the 5 freeway. It went southbound, made its way through Burbank here. Started about 11:10 p.m. in San Fernando Valley here. We're going to coverage here. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. And make sure to subscribe and like. We'll be back with more live pursuits in the future. It's the Radio Archive. Have a great evening.